Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Football Pyramid Talk podcast, joined by George as always. And my old man Simon is feeling unwell, so we've got our very first special guest on today. Goes by the name of Michael Cunningham, aka Mikey, aka BHAFC Mike. Hello.
Thank you, boys. It's going to be tough to fill in your old man's boots, but we'll see what I can do.
Yeah, big boots to fill, mate. I'm sure you'll be all right.
Uh,
Yeah, so international break, as I'm sure everyone's aware. No Prem, no Championship. We've got some League One games, League Two, and then a lot of FA Cup games as well for the non-league side. So we'll go straight into it. We are going to speak about England first and foremost. Got a nice little segment about England and what our teams would be at this moment in time going into the World Cup, because obviously England have qualified. So, yeah, that's a good starting point. Qualified after a 5-0 thrashing of Latvia. I mean, if we didn't qualify, then it would have been fucking horrendous, wouldn't it? But, yeah, I mean, I'm quite impressed with England at the moment, personally. I think we look like we've got more of an identity under Tuchel than we did with Southgate. We just look more fluid.
Yeah.
I just think it looks a lot better. They look to be playing with more confidence as well. To me,
Yeah, I think so. A lot of clean sheets, isn't it? I think it's every game we've played is a clean sheet so far. We haven't conceded a goal yet in the World Cup qualifying stage. So Tuchel's doing a brilliant job, and a bit of banter from the England fans about him speaking about no support, and then the England fans give it back with a few chants last night.
well, I didn't actually see all that. What I saw his interview, but like, what was
Yeah,
it?
they were chanting like, "Oh, we land enough Tuchel," and like stuff like that. I think he saw it as banter, thank God, because that wouldn't have ended well. But
Did he say that against Wales then after the game?
yeah, he did it against Wales. It was like, well, they were 3-0 up after, what was it, 20 minutes, and then Tuchel was like, the fans didn't really get the players going enough, and it was just dull in the stadium, really. So it was one of the big talking points in the international break from England point of view.
Yeah, Mikey, you've been to some of the friendlies at Wembley. What do you make of that, mate?
to be honest, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Tuchel. I think, as you say, we probably do have a better identity than we did under Southgate. I think we probably we have had very easy opponents in every game. So there's not really a lot to judge it on. Obviously, we did batter Latvia, and we saw off the Wales game in 20 minutes. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. I think we'll have to see when it comes to the actual tournament how we do. I don't know. It's open. I think we have been impressive, but we could easily do our typical England and sort of underperform when it comes to a big tournament. So
Yeah, I think it's always going to be the pressure, isn't it? But I like to back the boys, say it's coming home. People call us ignorant. I don't care. It's coming home, I reckon. But honestly, I do think like we just have a bit better patterns of play. There just seems to be more tactics and stuff. I mean, I was thinking that I'm not surprised that the atmosphere was no good for a friendly on wasn't it Tuesday night against Wales? I might be wrong. It might have been a Friday. It was Friday actually, wasn't it? Anyway,
Yeah.
it's one of the days, but anyway, it's a friendly against Wales. Like it's not going to be amazing atmosphere, but yeah, I was happy. Obviously secured the place, which was good. We'll go on to our teams. We'll do a little bit of what we think our team should be going into it, but just a few other talking points. A couple of qualifications for Cape Verde. One of them, first time ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the smallest countries ever as well to qualify for World Cup.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
You also got South Africa, haven't you? I was saying before we started how the manager said in a press conference when he joined South Africa, saying if he doesn't qualify for the World Cup with the national team of South Africa, then resign me. And then he went and did it, which is a very bold statement from him. And two countries that are new from previous competitions. So it's always good to see new nations coming into play and, new competition and, sort of like special runs which you might see happen from a country which you definitely wouldn't expect to happen. So, yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully one of those two can make a really good story in this next World Cup.
Yeah, I don't think South Africa have been in it since the World Cup was there. And what was that, 2010?
Yeah, since they hosted it, they've not been in it.
Yeah, so it'd be good to see them back in it. I think my dad said that they're actually they're thinking about and speaking about adding more teams for the
Yeah,
next World Cup after this, which I just think's nonsense. But yeah, whatever. In terms of England, I'll kick us off then. I reckon Pickford in goal. We're just for everyone listening. We'll do 11s that we think at this moment in time, only in this moment in time, because things could change over the course of the season, etc.
yeah,
That should be starting. You'd have starting. So Pickford, I mean, it speaks for itself. Then he's I think he's not conceded a goal for 4 or 5 games at least.
More,
So
I think it was about 8 games. He broke the record
yeah,
before.
yeah, it's something crazy like that. But I think he speaks for himself. Sort of left back, I'd say Lewis Skelly, but I think fullbacks are tough. I go
yeah,
Lewis Skelly. I think he's solid going forward and at back. Yesterday he did have a couple of moments where he got undone a bit, but I'd have Lewis Skelly. I'd have Gahey, Konsa. I think they're just solid together. Excuse me, definitely Gahey, 100%. I think it's the one next to him. But I just think personally, Stones, like, I know he's got the experience and I would have him there, but he played virtually no minutes last season.
yeah.
This season, I don't know, he's not played loads already, and is he going to get ahead of what Gvardiol? Who else have they got? Ake, God knows who else. Ruben Diaz, they
Yeah.
got fucking loads of centre halves, so I just don't see him getting loads of minutes. So I'd have Gay Conser. I think that's pretty tasty, and then right back's tough. I was thinking Trent, but probably I think if they're all fit, I think the best of the both worlds, attacking and defending, is probably Reece James, and I think Tuchel goes with that as well. So I have him. Then so playing 4-2-3-1's what England be doing. I have
Yeah.
Rice, and as much as it pains me, I'd have Adam Wharton
Yeah.
as the 2 6s. Mikey's fuming. 2 6s. I'd have Bellingham, Cam, Saka right wing, Palmer left wing, Kane up front. Bosh. That's my team. It's coming up.
Decent. Right, I'll go. I've gone Pickford and goal. Obviously, just the usual proper shot stopper. I've gone Skelly left back, same as you, but I've gone with Stones and Guehi. I just think at this minute in time he's fit and ready to play. So
Yeah.
on his day, he's actually a top draw centre half. So I think if he can find that fitness consistency, because he came out in the I think it was an interview the other day, because of his injuries last season, he was considering retiring.
Yeah, saw that.
Which I thought was quite hard to sort of read. You know what I mean? At such a young age, thinking of retiring, but
Yeah.
fit and ready. I think he got a few. Did he start against Wales? Can't remember. I think he got a few.
Started last night.
Started last night. There you go.
Yeah.
So
He's got the experience in
yeah,
the tournaments as well, so that does go a long way.
yeah, exactly. And then I've got Guehi next to him, and I've gone the same with you with Reece James at right back. Yeah, I just think he's better suited for it. Tuchel wants to play instead of Trent at this minute in time. And then two DMs, I've gone at Bellingham and Rice. I think Bellingham for England in World Cup competitions and just Euros in general, he just turns up in the big occasions, and I think he will again. And then Declan Rice is just brilliant. He's been brilliant for England for years now. And then in the cam, I've gone with Palmer. On the right, I've gone with Saka. On the left, I've gone with Rashford because he's absolutely smashing it at Barcelona at the minute. Unbelievable. and then up top I've gone with Harry Kane. So that's my team. I think it's all right. I don't think there's any controversial miss outs, but yeah.
No controversial. See what Mikey says.
Mine's probably similar. I think you're probably going to be surprised at maybe a couple of the names I say. Obviously, Pickford in goal, solid, done the job for years. I think at left back, Lewis Skelly as well, same as you two, just pretty solid. And I think he's got time to improve. I think he'll just get better and better. So I think that'd be good to get him involved now. And I've gone for Stones as well. I think, despite not having loads of minutes, I think his experience. You know,
I know where this is going.
I've gone for Stones as well, just because of experience. And yeah, maybe didn't get as many minutes, but I think he's just, he's professional. He's going to be ready to play no matter what. And I think you already know next to him is going to be Ezri Konsa. I think he's been solid so far. I think he's done really well in an English shirt and both at club. Gay's a tough one. I think.
Can't bring yourself to pick him, can you, boy?
No, I think he is quality. I can't deny that he is. He's a great player. I wish he was at the Albion perhaps. He is solid, but I'm going to pick Stones and Konsa over him. Then at right back, slightly different because I think Reece James is too injury prone, and I don't think we can necessarily rely on him in a big tournament. And as you say, I don't think Trent's been great, so I maybe just take a gamble on Spence, to be honest.
Yeah, good shout.
Well, just get him improving as well. I think we have a young team that could really progress, and I think might as well just whack him in for the next tournament, to be honest.
Yeah, I was debating Jed Spence. I think he's quality. Yeah. He's good going forward, and I think he's very hard to beat for any winger. Like he always does that thing on his story, doesn't he? Like the penitentiary, because he actually just locks wingers up. So I was thinking about having him in, but yeah, I rate that shout.
Yeah, and then midfield, I've gone for Declan Rice as well as CDM. And then I've got Bellingham as well next to him, same as George. I think it's pretty solid. Both of them performed really good for England and we'll see at club. So I think they're no-brainers. Saka on the wing. I wouldn't put Palmer in behind. I'd maybe put Eze in behind.
Yeah, fair.
And then on the wing, I was debating whether to put Rashford in. I think just how perhaps he's been performing at Barcelona, I'd probably put Rashford in at the moment. I think even when he was performing well at United, he wasn't really getting the game time. I think he probably does deserve that. And then obviously Harry Kane up top, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, picks itself, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought you were going to say Lewis Dunk for a second centre half then for a sec, Mikey.
I think, I don't know, mate. I've seen Lukaku break this guy's legs a couple of times.
Oh, God, don't give me flashbacks to Rome.
You actually went to Rome as well, didn't you, Mikey?
Yeah, it's stuck with me, mate. It's stuck with me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, all the players we said there, all of our teams, they're just like unbelievable quality and depth. Yeah. Like I had Rashford because I wouldn't want ideally Palmer out wide. I'd want him in the 10, but I think you got to have Rice and Wharton. So then stick Bellingham there, and he would do naughty in the 10.
What one for me? He was very close between him and Palmer. I didn't know whether to take out Palmer, move Bellingham on one, and then drop Wharton deeper. But yeah, that was the close one for me. Sorry for interrupting, but yeah.
No, that's all right. Yeah. Who else? Foden. We didn't even mention there.
Yeah.
Jed Spence. Eze's a great shout. And then you got players like Gordon, Bowen, who are missing out.
Watkins.
Yeah, it's exciting times, but it's as you say, Mikey. Whether we could just push through that severe mental block of 60 years or whatever it is.
I think having youngsters will definitely help with that as well. I think some of the older heads, even though it's good to have experience, I think they've gone through several tournaments and we've fallen at the final hurdle, and it's just I don't know. I think maybe some younger players, and then maybe if we do well in this tournament, or if we even win, then we can just continue that streak onwards.
Yeah, I do think something's coming eventually for England, but I reckon we should move on now from that. It's a nice little segment. Straight on to League One. And then a few big talking points. You might as well start off with seeming to be our favourite League One side, at least in the last few weeks. Leighton Orient, George, 4-0 win. Huge 4-0 win. And the main man's got on the score sheet again.
I was hoping Simon's not with us today, but if you watched the pod, Mikey, Simon is an avid hater of Aaron Connolly for some weird reason. But he got another goal and assist on the weekend, and that brings him up to 4 goals and 2 assists in all comps in his last 4 games. So he's actually finding a surprising amount of good form at the minute, and not to mention Don Ballard getting a hat trick in the game as well. That's 5 goals in his last 3 games for them. So yeah, it was just a really good 4-0 win. It's not like Doncaster have been a bad side at the start of this season. I know they got promoted from League Two, but they are sitting in a high position. Leighton Orient still in the table after that win. So yeah, worries for them in terms of goals. They've conceded 22, which is the worst in the league by 2 goals. That's real real concern. But then you've got on the other hand, they've scored the joint best amount of goals with 20 as well, along with Bradford. So yeah, it's a weird one with Leighton Orient. We have talked about them, like you said, quite a lot, but I mean, it's quite hard to just avoid a 4-0 result like that. And some of the talking points of players like Don Ballard and Aaron Connolly, with their quality doing so well recently, it's hard to not talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting one. We always speak about them because they've got good players. You know, you mentioned Don Ballard and Aaron Connolly. Obviously, we know about Connolly from his Brighton days. Mikey, I mean, are you surprised to see him playing down in League One? Because I know you're not bang on it looking down the leagues every week, but does it come as a surprise to you?
Not massively. I think that game he had against Tottenham at home where he scored a brace. I think maybe it was his debut in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It was all by surprise, and I think he sort of set an expectation, and it was so hard for him to live up to that. And I think maybe it got to his head. I think he was also dating someone from Love Island at the time. I think he was he was very young, and I think it all went to his head. So I'm not entirely surprised about his work rate, and I think that's probably why he's down there. But he has got great ability, so not surprised that he's doing well at the moment.
Yeah, he just went off the rails, didn't he? But quality-wise, I was saying on the weekend, like, I think he's easily good enough championship player. I mean, he did
Yeah.
score, like, he scored, I think, 1 goal maybe for Sunderland and a couple for Millwall when he
Yeah.
was knocking about the last couple of seasons. He just couldn't really find his feet. But yeah, they do have good players, and it'd be interesting to see whether they can kind of push up the league, won't it?
Yeah, it will be. Also got Killian Cahill, who went in goal for them on the weekend, former Albion goalkeeper. He got an assist, so good performance from him, obviously. I think he's the backup there, so he's trying to prove a point while their main goalkeeper's injured. So he clearly did in this game. So yeah, it's an interesting one to look at, and he was linked with the Luton job, which we'll talk about in a second. Richie Wellens, but he decided to stay apparently. So maybe that can come into factor of that will pay off for them near the back end of this season.
Yeah, I mean, it cues us in nicely to Luton. Obviously, Jack Wilshere, if you haven't seen it, is just turned up there to be the new manager. Correct me if I'm wrong, but his first managerial job, definitely the first like big statement job. He's
Yeah,
probably most definitely doing youth level and stuff. But I think, well, personally, I don't know what you think. I think it could be quite a good appointment. You know, we know that, all right, Gerrard, Lampard, even though Lampard's doing really well, but Rooney, that's a prime example. They're not always the best managers just because they are amazing players. But I think Wilshere could be a good manager for them, and especially because he was such an intelligent player.
Yeah.
It makes you think they'll be able to pass that on.
Yeah, I think so. And, it comes as a kind of a shock, really, that they haven't, gone with an experienced manager just because of how they've plummeted down the league so quickly in the last 2 seasons. But it's not like Wilshire's, a mug or anything, is it? I think he's there to prove a point, and there's lots of managers in this league. Examples: Lee Grant. It's his first managerial job at Huddersfield, and he's with them in the playoff place. And I'm pretty sure. So we've seen it work at football clubs in this division. So it's not a surprise to see a player of such a quality in his playing days turn into a manager, and I think it could go well. And he's got Forest Green, hasn't he now? Because they beat Worthing on Monday night, so we'll probably keep an eye on that. But first game of the weekend versus Mansfield, so see how he gets on.
Mikey's fuming. He's a Worthing boy, aren't you?
Not talking about it, mate. Not talking about
You're gonna have to later on, mate. You're gonna have to.
it. I had hopes, but
Yeah. What do you think about Wilshere, though, Mikey? What do you reckon?
I think sometimes you have to take a gamble, and I think
Yeah,
they've been tumbling down the leagues. I think it's a bold move, but it really could pay off, as you say. He was a really intelligent player. He's not quite the same level of name as Gerrard and Lampard and Rooney, so I think perhaps maybe they were more sort of signings based off their name, whereas I think, as you say, Wilshire's probably been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So I think it could work out for them, but obviously, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's a good point, and I actually saw, because I was listening to one of his first meetings he did with the team. He was actually there for a bit. I don't know if he was actually playing with the first team or whether he was just training. But he started there in youth level, and then he came back. I guess when he left Arsenal later on in his career, so he knows the club. I mean, I think that'll go a long way, and probably guessing that the fans really like him as well. So, I think, as you say, it's a bit of a risk, but you need to take those risks, and I'd like to see him do well for Luton, and he needs to, because they're sitting in 11th, and he's saying like they've been tumbling down the leagues.
Yeah.
But there has been loads of sackings in the EFL recently. I mean, you're sending me them and I'm sending you them, George, basically all week. They're just dropping like flies. Steve Bruce, who we thought was going to do amazingly well for Blackpool with the caliber of manager he is, and just his experience, at League One level. I thought, that could be really good for him. We were tipping them to do well. They're traditionally quite a big club as well, higher than League One level. But I mean, he's gone. They've sacked him. They sit 23rd, 2 wins from 12 in the league. 8 losses and 2 draws, which puts them on 8 points. So it's no real surprise there, is it? They're pretty dire stats.
Yeah, they're tragic stats, aren't they? And I think we talked about them the other week, didn't we? For his last winner against, what was it, Barnsley?
Yeah, that's it. We had all the Blackpool fans on TikTok saying you've just been peeled by the tangerines.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I don't know, Steve Bruce. It's not a great stint, is it? 2 wins from 12. That's pretty tragic. 8 losses and 2 draws. I mean, not what you want to see. I mean, it's not. It is kind of a surprise because, as you said, Sterling, he is a well-known Premier League manager. So him dropping down to League One, you'd think that he's got the experience to pull teams like Blackpool out, like you said as well. A big club who have been in the Premier League before, so they're no mugs in this division. And at the minute in time, Steve Bruce has made them look like mugs in this League One table. So
Yeah,
third, and it looks like it's all going wrong there. But who knows who they could appoint, and hopefully they could get out of the relegation zone because they're definitely not League Two side.
no. What do you reckon, Mikey?
Well, as you say, I think Steve Bruce is a big name, but I'm just looking at it now. The number of jobs that he's actually had, he's never really stuck with a club for a long time. I think he's had about 12 different clubs. I think 2 stints perhaps at Wigan since 2000. So that's sort of club every 2 years. It's not really a surprise. I don't think you sign him to as like a project manager. I don't think he's that
Yeah.
side.
Short stint.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm not surprised, but I would have thought he would have done better because, as you say, he used to be a Premier League manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well, it's League One. You kind of, I don't know if this is even true, but I kind of think of Steve Bruce as like an old school, like dice ball type manager, where it's just like, like Allardyce. It's just
Yeah.
like long ball and just like make it nasty. You'd think that would work quite well in League One. I mean, no disrespect, I know there's some very good teams in League One, but as it goes down the leagues, it gets a bit more just physical. And we were watching Brighton out in the Championship for years. I remember Preston coming to the Amex once, and they just done us over with absolute. It was just haramble. It was awful. It was just like long ball. They had this huge bloke up front, and they done us. So based on that, I would have thought they would have done all right. But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to be dealing with quite a few other sackings to speak about in coming weeks.
We'll speak about it in a second in the National League, I'll say it, but there's been so many sackings in that league in particular. I'll reveal how many later in the episode, but it's absolutely mental. They're all going like flies, aren't they? So...
Yeah. Right, we'll move on to League Two. I was actually in Crawley on Saturday when they were playing Walsall, and I went past the ground just as it was finishing, because I watched my mate fight, as we touched on. And congratulations, Alex, he won. Third round TKO.
Nice.
Cheeky little elbow followed by a knee, so yeah, big up the boy.
Brutal.
It was brutal, but he savaged it. It was good to see. The bloke looked like João Pedro as well. I wish I'm not gonna say for you to edit a photo of this bloke that he's just beaten up onto the video, but I'll show you after. He looked like João Pedro. This fella, thought it was so funny. But anyway, Crawley 1-1 with Walsall, and I looked. I thought, are Crawley at home today? And they were. And I thought, I could go in for the second half, but the boys didn't fancy it. And then I thought, bloody hell, they're 1-0 up against Walsall. They went 1-0 up in the first half, but couldn't hold out. Walsall did come back in the second half, but I think, to be honest, it's a really good result for Crawley, because although they didn't hold on to the win, they've shown that they can actually show a bit of fight, and that's against top of the league. So it's quite a surprising result, really.
Yeah, I think it is. Crawley haven't started the season off well, so it doesn't surprise me that they're competing against teams like this, because that's sort of the area you expect to be in. I think McCurdy missed a penalty, so they could have won the game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that would have taken them 2-0 up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, it's been a good start for Walsall, which is credit to them. But they wouldn't have been happy with a point, considering that Crawley are in 21st place at the minute. But obviously, you've got to play what you're coming up against. In this division, it's going to be a proper hard game, whoever you play. And Crawley have got a good team as well, so it doesn't surprise me that I can sort of compete with the big teams up in the division at the minute. So I think it's a good point for Crawley, but a disappointing point for Walsall.
Yeah, they'll definitely be gutted about that. I mean, Crawley just 1 point outside relegation as well, so could go a long way in their season. I think that. Mikey, have you been to? I don't even know what the stadium's called. Have you been to Crawley Stadium?
Yeah, I have been maybe about 5 years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
it must have been just before COVID.
Yeah.
I remember them getting. Who was it? I think it was like Northampton or some random team. Like I can't remember what it was. It wasn't anything special, but I haven't been in a while, and probably should, to be honest, because they're not too far away.
Yeah, we've been thinking about going to a Crawley game. Few teams on the checklist, I think, coming up into Christmas when the fixtures start going berserk. But yeah, we move on. Gillingham, George. Oh no, sorry. I'm actually said to speak about this. Gillingham 1-0, and Mikey, we spoke about it, didn't we? Gillingham 1-0 with Cheltenham. Cheltenham new manager Steve Cottrell seems to be doing quite a good job there. Only second or third game, isn't it, George, for him?
Yeah, second, yeah.
Second, yeah. Obviously won the first, and then massive point really because they're dead last in this league. And since he's taken over, yeah, unbeaten. And Gillingham are right near the top. I think they're sitting in third or fourth. So it's a massive result for them. And Mikey, you were looking at the stats.
Honestly, I don't know what they were doing. They've had 30 shots, Gillingham have had, against 11 for Cheltenham. And albeit Cheltenham had one shot on target and it went in. Target. I'm thinking, I don't know what happened, but you know, a Football Manager when you put shoot on side, I think they were just smashing the ball from like 30 yards away. They couldn't get in the box. Probably couldn't beat the low block.
Yeah.
Cheltenham scored a late goal and then Gillingham scored even later, so it's devastating for them really. But looking at the stats, they definitely deserve the win, Gillingham.
Yeah. I mean, they have shithoused it there a bit, Cheltenham, I think.
Yeah.
Looks like, doesn't it? That's, I mean, what is it? Gareth Ainsworth at Gillingham, who we've talked about for a couple of weeks now, just because of the unbeaten run they went on. But ever since that sort of came to life in the media, they sort of plummeted back down again to, I think they haven't won in about 3 or 4 now, off the top of my head. But concerning stats for Gillingham, how they haven't put at least one of those 30 shots to make another goal in the back of the net, I will not know. So they will
You'd be fuming if you're the gaffer, wouldn't you?
fuming. You'd be massively upset, and the players. I think the manager would have got the players would have got a big heckling from the manager when they got in the dressing room. Just put your shots away, fellas. But yeah, massive point for Steve Cottrell. He's got off to a really good start at Cheltenham and looking like they could sort of stir the ship and get up a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a tough job to do. You reminded me then of, that Geordie commentator when Jacob Murphy threw on goal. Just put it in the back of the net.
Put it in the net.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. But yeah, George, now this is me cueing you in for the game you wanted to speak about, MK Dons.
Yeah, MK Dons left it late. A 4-0 win sounds good, but 3 of the goals, I think, were in like the 82nd minute or above. So, it moves them into an automatic place where you'd expect them to be, because of the calibre of the players they have, which we've talked about for a long time on this podcast at the start of the season now. And they've scored the second most goals in the division so far with 23. It's nearly 2 goals a match. So speaks words in itself, doesn't it? And I said Patterson at the start of the season, didn't I? With top, he's got 4 goals, 4 assists. Gilby with 4 goals and an assist from centre mid, and Liam Kelly with 3 assists from centre mid. So midfield from them stats seems to be, kind of dictating the play well. Gilby scoring the goals, Kelly's getting the assists. But Lawrence Maguire, Harry Maguire's brother, getting on the score sheet for them, looking good for him. I think he was at Crawley last season, so.
I was going to say, where does he play?
Yeah, he plays centre half like him.
Nice.
I was going to speak on, because of the amount of goals they scored. They scored nine goals from set pieces this season, so clearly one of their strong points.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, it looks like they're finding their rhythm so far, because you'd expect them to be in a position like they are now.
Yeah, you would. We picked him out as one of the front runners, didn't we, for the calibre of the club and the team they've got. And it's impressive, as you said, the second most goals in the league. But also another clean sheet makes it 4 for the season, which is the third best in the league. So that's the perfect balance that you want, isn't it? We spoke about it for another side a couple of weeks ago, I remember, and I think we were speaking it in a negative aspect where they can't put the ball in the back of the net, and they everything was going into their net. It was complete opposite for MK Dons because it's going well at both ends, which is it's exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And, the quality of their attacking areas, you'd expect them to be bagging in the goals this season in League Two, because players that are on the pitch for NK Dons at the minute probably could be playing at higher levels. So it's sort of a fact of they'll be getting lots of goals and assists this season and making their mark in the division, and then probably getting a move next summer. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they've scored so many goals, and I'd probably expect them to as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, then we'll move on to last game we'll cover in this league. Tranmere, Mikey, 2-0 loss at home to Barnet. What do you reckon about that, mate?
I mean, disappointing for them. Looking at the stats, possession was very even. Both shared the ball. 13 shots to Tranmere and a whopping 0 on target. Not sure. That amazes me. You have 13 shots and not one target. It's like I always use the analogy. It's like a darts player turning around and throwing it the other way. It's like you train to aim at that thing, and not 1 in 13 has hit the target, let alone go in. Here's what it is. Yeah, they lost 2-0. Barnet ended up on 10 men in the 96th minute. Obviously, didn't really impact the game at all, but obviously got a little bit feisty towards the end. But I think they'll be disappointed, really, to not, with 13 shots, you should be doing better than that.
Yeah. And without winning 7 games now, drawn 3, lost 4. So it is really going wrong there at the minute. George, what do you think is the problem?
I think it's just the sort of the lack of goals. I mean, you speak about the stats there, Mikey. Not getting a shot on target with 13 shots. Well, Amari Patrick, who I spoke about a couple of episodes ago now, is on 6 goals and 3 assists for them. But apart from him, there's only Nathan Smith, who's on 2 goals. So it's him and Patrick, and then everyone else has just got 1 goal. So it's not like they're creating goals from multiple areas of the pitch, if you get what I mean. They're sort of just like relying on one player in Amari Patrick. He's got 9 goal involvements for them, which is probably more than half of how many they've scored all season. So, and then it's the fact that they've conceded an average of 1.5 goals a match so far, 18th in the league for that. They're not, creating the best of chances. I've got it on my stats here. XG, they've been 21st, so they're not creating good enough chances to get like high enough XG, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And then shots per match, they're 20th. Only created 18 big chances all season. And then from them 18 big chances, they've missed 8 of them. So it doesn't look like they know where the back.
Yeah. Seems like that's the problem there. And I mean, I said it about MK Dons. You said it and I said it. 2 different things. First of all, they've got players popping up in different positions all around the pitch. And we looked at Middlesbrough a few weeks ago, I remember, and I said pretty much, I think it was 8 out of their 11 starters, 7 out of the 10 outfield players all had a goal or an assist. And we're saying how good that was. You can't be relying on 2 people or one bloke and the other one scored, 2? And everyone else has scored 1. Can't be relying on this Patrick to do all the business. And like I said, with the goals going in and stopping the goals at the back for MK Dons, it's just not happening at all. For Tranmere, so yeah, concerning stats. But we'll move it on to National League. A lot of them were playing FA Cup action. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, every single team? No?
Well, yeah, I don't think there was any National League games, so I think every game got cancelled just because of in the league, just because of how many teams were actually in the fourth qualifying round. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the National League teams come into it at this stage or if they come into it earlier. Well, anyway, all the games we're going to be speaking about are FA Cup games, so a few National League teams to speak about are playing National League South, Isthmian, potentially even lower, but I don't think we're covering any that were lower than that. I was looking at Eastleigh versus Hampton and Richmond. Eastleigh under the new manager Scott Bartlett. Old manager went just at the end of September, like we spoke about. So it was an interesting one, and they got a 2-0 away win against Hampton and Richmond, which is a good result. They've been doing really well, as we know, in the league. Hampton and Richmond, so albeit in the National League South, one below.
Yeah.
It's a really good result for Eastleigh, 2-0. And yeah, I think I said already, unbeaten under the new gaffer, so they'll be happy to keep that momentum rolling and obviously into the first round proper now.
Yeah, I got him from Western Supermare, didn't I? I think we spoke about it, and
Yeah,
it was a credit to them to get that appointment because he started so well at Western Supermare. So it was the fact of we talked about how they can keep this consistency up at Western Supermare, which we'll probably look at later in episodes to see if they can keep up that form. But yeah, Scott Bartlett's doing brilliantly there and keeping up the consistency which he had in the National League South. So they've earned themselves a draw at Walsall in the next round at home. So
should be a good game.
should be a good game. Maybe TV coverage for them. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's always good to see, teams playing from leagues below playing teams from like in higher leagues because you always want to see an FA Cup upset. Every year, it's what you watch the FA Cup for most of the time, isn't it? And we'll speak about some of the cup draws that some Isthmian Premier Division teams got later in the episode, which are brilliant draws. But yeah, really good result for Eastleigh, and they've earned themselves a draw to a League Two side. So very good result.
Absolutely, yeah. Mikey, did you go to Eastleigh when we were in Southampton?
I think I went once. I think
Yeah.
I can't remember much. Probably having a few beers, but no, I don't.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I went twice, I think.
Yeah,
It's a good stadium, to be fair, and they got quite a good support, so do always seem to keep an eye on them there. And yeah, I think potentially with this new manager, as you said, George, he looks like a good gaffer, so I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of shoot up the table. But such a competitive league, so it would be really tough. I don't see them breaking in anywhere this season, but who knows? We'll see. Aldershot Mikey parted ways with Tommy Witherington. God, I mean, Mikey, we always butcher names on this podcast, so if you find yourself thinking I'm going to butcher that, just go for it, mate. But yeah, 3-2 cup win, and then they sacked him against Dorking.
yeah. I mean, no surprise really. I think sat 19th in the table. They conceded 31 goals in the league, third worst in the league. So pretty poor in the league. Obviously, that is a big win in the cup. Obviously against Mark White's Dorking Wanderers. I mean, I think obviously their focus has got to remain on the league, and obviously it might affect their cup run. But at the end of the day, they're probably not. As much as they'd like to progress as far as they can in the cup, they're not going to get. They're not going to get to the end. So it's more important for them that they focus on the league.
Yeah.
I did look at the goal stamps for the game, and Aldershot. I don't know what was going on in the game, but something to do with half time was some sort of motivation. Scored in the 43rd minute, 45th plus 4th, and the 46th minute. So if they could just continue that sort of half time motivation throughout the whole game,
Yeah.
that might be great. But obviously, yeah, big win in the cup. But yeah, they've obviously had to get rid of the manager for the benefit of the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, they're not going to prioritise the FA Cup and maybe a run of an extra game over the National League. But Mark White will be fuming the Dorking gaffer. I don't know if you watch Bunch of Answers, Mikey. Yeah, I thought so. He was saying, wasn't he, George, that he was like, he just really wanted to get to the first round. He really, really wanted it. And after hearing that they've gone, 2-0 up and then thrown it away, that's going to make for some entertaining content.
Yeah, he said after the game, I don't know if it was a bit salty, but he was like, Aldershot had three shots, 3 goals.
Yeah, well, that's it. You don't want to be like a Tranmere having fucking 14 shots and not having any go in, or who
Yeah.
else is it? Gillingham 30 shots and one goes in. I'd rather have 3 shots, 3 goals, Mark.
Yeah, you need to put the ball in the back of the net more than your opposition, Mark. So Aldershot did that, and yeah, I was speaking about it earlier. It's the 7th sacking in this division already, which is great. 7 sackings. I don't know how many games are in now. 12, 13 odd. There's been 7 sackings. That's quite a mental stat, and Tommy Witherington adds to that list, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the amount of goals they conceded is an absolute joke. But he did have them scoring a lot, but they conceded a lot more than they did score. So, you know, you can score a lot of goals, but you need to have a good structure at the back to stop conceding them. And clearly, the manager didn't have them doing that. But I think he's quite a well-known face at them. I'm pretty sure he won the FA Trophy with them at Aldershot, Tommy Witherington. So it's not like it was a short stint at the club. I think he'll, have a spot in Aldershot fans' hearts just because of the silverware that he won at the club.
Yeah, we picked Aldershot out, didn't we, at the start of the season as I think one that could actually push on a little bit. But there's some massive teams in this National League. York, God, my head's going to go. Sutton,
Rochdale,
exactly. You know, too much going on up here. But yeah, we picked them out as one of the bigger sides in the league. So it's a bit disappointing to see them sitting in 19th. So no real surprise there.
No real surprise, and as you said, they should expect to be higher up the league than that, and it's disappointing as well to see them that far down. So if you're in 19th place at a club like Aldershot, it was probably the right decision from the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I touched on York very briefly there, George, under new gaffer. Obviously, Adam Hinchelwood's left, and I don't even know who's coming. Stuart Maynard. There you are, just in his name. 2-1 away win.
Yeah, Rochdale, high flying. It would have been a toughest, the high quality of game, if you get what I mean, in the whole competition. So it was a very strong win for them. And I don't know if you picked up, I sent Alex Newby's goal, but it was absolute rocket,
Yeah.
worldy from Alex Newby. He got a brace as well, and they also won the league 2-1 away. So 2 proper good away results in the last 2 games, which leads him into 7th place now. He sort of climbed them up the table after Hinchelwood got the sack there at Worthing, who we'll talk about in a second probably. So yeah, it's not like Ollie Pearce is slowing down either. He's already got 7 goals, so that's probably, he's not going to slow down, is he? He got like 40 odd last season. So yeah, 9 games so far, 6 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. So not too shabby at the minute for him in charge of the football club, and looking like they could be sort of finding their form in the National League again.
Yeah, I mean, I said, didn't I? They're one of the bigger clubs in this league, and definitely we all, I think, put them first in our prediction, me, you, and Dad. So definitely expecting them to be getting up the table, and it was, as we've touched on already, shocking to see Hinchelwood go because I think they were out of 9, they'd won 3, drawn 3, lost 3. when he at the time of him going. I'm pretty sure. So it was confusing one, but yeah, good start with a new gaffer. 6 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Can't really ask for much better. So yeah, very very big for them. And I did see that goal. It was an absolute it's a rocket, mate. So yeah, they'll be buzzing. We'll move on to National League South. Let Mikey speak about his beloved Worthing.
Yeah, well, obviously, as you were touching on there, Hinshelwood returning to Worthing, which is a good thing. I think that's everything a Worthing fan would want, especially not doing so well this season. I think they're currently sat in 16th. Obviously needed something different. Obviously doing really well under Hinshelwood previously, and nearly got promoted. Was it last year?
Year before.
Year before. And yeah, I think that's definitely what they need. Obviously, they've just lost to Forest Green as well, 4-1 in the cup, which was disappointing. And again, former Albion player Teddy Jenks scoring a great goal. They seem to be recruiting from the Albion pretty well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, me and Dad spoke about it. It's surprising. There's definitely been a few, but it's kind of surprising there's not been more go. But Dad said potentially it could be because Worthing have got that artificial pitch, and actually in that game, Robbie Savage, the gaffer of Forest Green, said that he wasn't actually selecting a few of his starter players for the game due to injury concerns and didn't want to risk it on the artificial pitch. So
Yeah.
Dad made a good point that potentially Brighton don't want to send players there for that reason. But yeah, there is a nice touch there. I mean, that's a nice midfield of Teddy Jenks and Jack Spong. And they both, I think, put in a good account of himself. Obviously, Teddy Jenks with the goal. It was actually a really good goal as well, first time.
Yeah, quite.
Bottom left corner. So yeah, he'll be happy about that. But it was a disappointing result for Worthing. I mean, they actually come out the blocks really well, I thought, and they were pressing high. The fans were right up for it as they always are, and it looked like okay, maybe, but they couldn't really create anything, and then they just got done quick free kick, really, wasn't it, George? And it was. I know you said there was rubbish defending, but I thought it was really good attacking play. Just to the
Yeah.
run from what was his name, Whittinger or Whitaker,
Yeah.
the first goal scorer for Forest Green. I'll get it up now, but I thought it was a lovely goal.
Yeah, it was smart play, wasn't it? Yeah, I put it on the group chat, didn't I? I was sort of. It looked like Worthing was switched off, but as you said, it was smart play. To be fair, from Forest Green to think like that, play quickly, get the ball moving straight away, and yeah, it was a tidy finish. To be fair, and I think they deserved the win in general. They just looked the better side. They looked like a top National League side, and
Yeah,
Hinshelwood said in the press there was positive things to take from the game, which I think is fair enough considering it's his first game back. So obviously he's going to see things that he's used to seeing in his sort of system. So hopefully some good aspects of the game to take away from it, and hopefully they get a win on the weekend. I think they've got Chelmsford, so that'll be a very tough test.
yeah.
But yeah, probably a deserved loss for Worthing on Monday night.
Yeah, well, Mikey's fuming. It was deserved. It was Harry Whitwell with the first goal. It was a really good finish and a really good run from deep. He's a midfielder, 19 years old, on loan from West Bromwich Albion. So he really showed that quality with,
Yeah,
I mean, the awareness to make the run in the first place and then to execute it to a T like that. And props to the player who played the ball over as well. I mean, me and Dad were really impressed with him the whole game because he didn't actually get an assist for the, I think, second goal, but he basically just held one of the
yeah,
Worthing defenders off, which stopped them actually getting to the ball. And for a 19-year-old lad, he showed good strength, and I think he was the best player on the pitch, to be honest. I mean, Yeah, they thoroughly deserved it. Worthing just before half time thought, okay, maybe, but I
Yeah,
think
I thought.
Forest Green brought those new players on, not new players, sorry, brought first team players on and new players to the pitch for the second half, and they just got a foothold in the game, and Worthing couldn't really create anything. But I'd say definitely there's positives though, for sure.
Yeah, I think as you said, Forest Green showed their class really at the end of the day. As much as I would have loved Worthing to win, they did. They went for it a couple of times. Obviously, they did score a nice goal, but it was sort of too little, too late at a certain point. But yeah, I see Forest Green are now on to the next round, so here's what it is.
Yeah, and they got Luton away as well, so
Yeah,
that's actually is a good draw for them, and that'll be a really good game actually to see those two go out. I think that would be really interesting, and that'll be one for the telly, I reckon.
Yeah,
definitely. Be
Yeah,
very surprised that it wasn't on the telly.
yeah. If Worthing had got there, I was thinking, oh, go Luton away with the Worthing
Yeah,
boys.
that leads at home off.
Yeah, that leaves home or fuck it, we'll go Luton away in the cup. But no, it wasn't meant to be. But touching on another local team to us, Eastbourne Borough, the woes continue because I mean it's been a dire start to the season, and I think, excuse me, this shows just how far from grace they've fallen, really, because it was a team against the team Boreham Wood that they actually finished higher than last season in the same league. Um, and they've got battered 3-0 at home to Boreham Wood. And yeah, as I said, that just shows just what the woes are continuing. They've dropped so far down in quality and in the league, and they're still even without a manager now. Got Chris Day as the current interim manager, but he doesn't seem to be steadying the ship at all. I mean, George, what do you think's going wrong there, mate?
um, quite a lot. I mean, you know, they just don't seem to be. They haven't won a game yet. Like in the FA Cup, obviously they've just been in the league. Sorry, they haven't won a game yet, which is just like concerning in itself, isn't it? And then it's taken their time of getting a actual manager into the job at the minute, isn't it? And to be fair, you've got to give the interim manager Chris Day little bit of, you know, just a little bit of leeway because he's an interim manager. He probably doesn't have that experience at the club at the minute, and they're still without a proper decent manager. So it's not like Boreham Wood and no mugs, are they?
Yeah,
Still unbeaten since the first day of the season in all comps, which is absolutely mental. And yeah, I think it just highlights how bad Eastbourne Borough started, like you said, and it does
yeah.
seem to be improving. Obviously, when they get a new manager, that might be the change of their season. But yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say on the flip side as well, it does show just how far Boreham would have come because obviously finished below Eastbourne in the league. Eastbourne just missed out on promotion last season, Mikey, which I'm sure you know. Um, and Boreham Wood went up in the playoffs, and they are just storming it in National League. So it's very impressive and very very good to see, really.
yeah. I was talking about Eastbourne Borough's form. I think actually they're quite lucky in a way that there are many teams around them doing almost just as poorly. I mean, obviously there's two teams below them, um, but I'm looking here from 18th down to 24th place. The most wins that any team's got is two. Bath City and Farm and Enfield on 2 wins. Dagenham on 1 win. Oh, and Chippenham somehow below Eastbourne, even though they've got a win. And Salisbury and Eastbourne still yet to get a win. So, I mean, if they do get a manager in and they change it around, they're probably not in a bad place to maybe get out of that relegation.
Yeah, and that's a good shout. That's a very good point. That a lot can turn around in just a short number of weeks, really. But we'll move it on to another team that's been very impressive in the National League South, Hemel Hempstead. George, you're looking at this one.
yeah, it was a very very good performance from them in the end. I was looking at the stats of the game, and they had a man sent off inside 27 minutes at 0-0, but they still managed to beat Yeovil in the league above 2-1 in the end, which I think is a absolutely brilliant performance from them. Because obviously Yeovil are no mugs in the league above. Obviously, been a huge club in recent years in the Championship and stuff like that, but it's credit to their performance, and they've earned themselves a brilliant draw away at Wigan now. So I think it's deserved, you know, when you put on a performance like that, and then you get rewarded for a very, very good cup tie in Wigan, and you know, 88th minute winner, would have imagined it would have been absolute limbs.
Yeah.
Get a draw like that as well would have put the icing on the cake for them. But they're on brilliant form: 6 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss in their last 11 games. So they've moved into the playoff places now in the league in 6th place. So they've only conceded 6 goals all season, may I add.
Unbelievable.
That's pretty crazy. 4 clean sheets in a row in the league as well. So absolutely mental, and look like a team that's going to be hard to stop in the recent weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, I just realised I'm going to get absolutely slated on TikTok because I said Yeovil were in the league below. But as I said, there's too much going on in there, and I was thinking of I was thinking of Torquay, so forgive me. But yeah, I mean, a dream day all round for Hemel Hempstead. I mean, that's going to be a fantastic game. Them going. Is it at home? Oh, away to Wigan.
Away.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful away day. Yeah, and a great win against Yeovil, and they were one of the teams we picked out to be right at the top of the National League. So yeah, I mean, amazing result for them. 88th minute winner, as you said. Can't ask for more, mate. Beautiful day all round if you're a Hemel Hempstead fan. And yeah, I've actually been impressed with them in the league because I was looking at them. I think I said in the predictions or a few weeks after that I was looking at them thinking, yeah, they could go up a bit, but I just didn't know where they'd kind
Yeah.
of who who they'd push down. But
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. They got some very good players. But we'll move it on to finally Isthmian Premier Division. Folkestone and Victor, who have got one of the best travelling fans in the league. They had an unbelievable away tie to Southend, who we spoke about. They're in the National League, but they're a football league club that are pretty much just in there for a couple of seasons, we reckon, don't we? They still got unbelievable support. I watched the highlights. Unbelievable support at their ground, bloody Rooks Hall. What's it called?
I think it's Rixel.
Rooks Hall. I've been there, so it's at the tip of my tongue. But yeah, it was unbelievable atmosphere for Southend. Roots Hall. That's it. Roots Hall.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, unbelievable atmosphere, and Folkestone brought quite a few as well. I mean, it looked like it was a packed out away end, so it was really good to see for that reason. But I won't be too pleased with the result. It was a 4-1 loss. Manager said after the game, Jay Saunders, that he wasn't happy with the manner of the goals in which they conceded. From the highlights, it was 2 headers, one from a set piece, which was pretty soft. The other one, just a cross in, again soft. But the first one was probably the worst. I think it was the left back just got done and then ball across the box for a tap in. So that was 3 within 17 minutes. So yeah, I'm not surprised really that he was gutted with that. But it was nice to see, really, more than anything, that they just had such a good away following. And you know, that's 2 leagues up against a team, as I said, that are really a sleeping giant in terms of the National League. So yeah, it was nice to see.
Yeah, I think it was, and you know, it's good to see teams in this division playing, you know, sides in the National League, isn't it? And you want to see cup ties like that, and it was unfortunate to see him, you know, not get the result they wanted in the end. But yeah, it was a tough game. Probably one of the toughest games you could have got, really.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise, obviously, that they've gone and lost. But yeah, what do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, I probably agree with you, to be honest. There, not a surprise. Yeah, I think you covered it pretty well, to be honest.
There's not really much else to say, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, in terms of Folkestone, that was the main talking point. It was
Yeah.
always going to be a tough game. You never really saw them getting a result to Southend, but I think it was just great to see a packed out away end, and I'm sure they enjoyed it regardless. But we move on. St Albans beat Banbury United 1-0. Mikey, take it away. You was looking at this one.
Yeah, well, beat Banbury in the replay. Took it to extra time. 1-0 win. Ended up on 10 men as well. Managed to see the game out, which is pretty impressive. Which actually earns them a big tie away to League One Burton Albion. So they'll be buzzing for that. That is,
Yeah.
they're a big club. They were in the Championship when Brighton were there for maybe a
Yeah.
few seasons.
Yeah.
I think they've unbeaten in the last 6 as well, so they're starting to find a bit of form, which is good. Look at the table; it's all sort of the fixtures are all a bit messed up. I think St Albans have played 9, other teams have played 10, other teams have played 12, so it's a little bit hard to
Yeah.
know how they're really doing. I think they've won 3, drawn 3, lost 3. So if you were York, you'd be sacking your manager. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there will be quite disappointed with the start because they were one of the favourites, weren't they, George?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not wrong. It is a bit of a difficult one to tell, and obviously it's so far. Sorry, so early on into the season.
yeah, literally they're within 3 points of 7th place from 13th. So
Yeah.
those games in hand could literally, take them up all the way up to 5th, 4th. So I think it's too early really to call
Yeah,
how they're doing. But
absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They got some good players that are banging in the goals as well. Zane Banton on 5 and Jasper Mather on 4. So got key goal scorers popping up with some important goals from there. So that's what you want if you're a St Albans fan, isn't it, George?
Exactly. And yeah, it's not like they're one of the biggest teams in the league, aren't they, really, after getting relegated from the National League South last season. So you'd expect them to be higher, and maybe the occasion of going to a League One club can sort of help them in the league and sort of find them to go on and get where they should be. Because, as you said, Sterling, we all put them very high up the table in our predictions. So the reason we put them up near the top of the table is because we know they've got the quality to be in those sorts of positions. So yeah, a very good cup tie and a very good result after extra time. Took them a long time to score, but they got there in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just before you go on to your final game that we'll cover, George, the one that you was looking at, another talking point just quickly is bottom of the table Canvey beat top of the table Brentwood yesterday in a 3-2 win. Their first win of the season and Brentwood's first defeat of the season. So it's absolutely mental turn of events and really just shows that, to be honest, like every single league we cover, it does seem like anyone can beat anyone, and it's just the quality of the pyramid. And I know that it's football, isn't it? Anyone can beat anyone on the day, but I mean, all you have to do is go and look at France and the fact that PSG win pretty much every season 9 out of 10 times. So it really does show the depth of the football pyramid and the quality throughout. So we'll have to keep a close eye on how Brentwood react, really. But go on, George, finish it up on Chatham Town.
Yeah, Chatham Town with a big away win at Tunbridge Angels. I don't know if you saw the assist from Chatham Town's the person who got the assist. He absolutely sends about 3 Tunbridge Angels players and then cuts it back for the striker for a tap in, and then the striker peels away in celebration.
I did see it. You sent it. Yeah, he's
Doesn't go to
actually.
the assister at all. He just peels away and takes the moment for himself, and then he sees no one celebrating with him, and then turns back round and it's like, "Oh, why's
Yeah,
no one celebrating with me?" Well, probably because someone did all the hard work for you, mate. I mean, that's so poor from that striker. I mean, for such a big
yeah,
game as well, they're playing in a team in the league above, massive occasion for the club, and it looked like they bring their numbers as well, Chatham Town. And that winger had the players on absolute strings, and it
yeah.
went viral on social media, didn't it?
Yeah, he absolutely killed the defenders, and yeah, I think what the post you sent to me is like, surely you're celebrating with the assister there, and he's just like run away. But I mean, strikers will be strikers, mate. They're greedy.
Yeah,
That's what they're like.
you got to give it to him. Take the moment, big occasion.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and um, sorry, I was going to say they also went and beat Cray Valley in the league, so really good run for them at the moment. And Mikey, you were doing a face because Tonbridge Angels, mate, they're now local to you, aren't they?
Yeah, new local. To be fair, I'm pretty impressed with the new gaffer, Alan Dunn.
Yeah,
They're all legend. It's a little bit disappointing, perhaps, that they've not won that game.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's a concern for them. As good as it is to play in the cup and things like that, at the end of the day, there's not going to be loads of money in it for them unless they get a big draw against like a team in League Two or League One or something like that. So
they didn't get that.
yeah, exactly. They need to. Go on, George.
They got Buxton.
Oh, Buxton Army.
So a good chance to get in the second round, but I think they vote for a better draw.
Yeah, they need to just focus on the league, really, don't they? Because it's been pretty underwhelming. They had Craig Nelson there, Mikey, who was the old Lewis manager, and we were surprised he even got the job. But yeah, it seems like the new gaffer's doing a little bit better. But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. That's our final game that we're going to be covering. And it's been an interesting week of our football. I mean, as far as international breaks go, I think the FA Cup's given it a little bit more life because they're usually quite dull. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Mikey. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you again, mate.
Thank you, mate.
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, big size off to Australia soon, so
Yeah.
I'm sure the viewers will get to see your beautiful face again.
Oh, sorry. Wait.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. See you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
See you later.